Trigger project, EU-funded project designed to provide European institutions with tools and knowledge to enhance their activeness, effectiveness, and influence in global governance. One of the main parts of the work we have conducted this year is a scenario building process. Almost 1 year ago, we have met in Fiesole in Italy for the workshop to identify the trends in global governance. The scenario drafts were developed. However, COVID-19 crisis has a strong impact in this process.
Today I will talk with Rosa, Researcher in Competence Center Foresight at the Fraunhofer Institute for Systems and Innovation Research EC, who led this foresight process in the project, and we will talk with him about this process of scenario drafting. Hello, Aaron.
Hello, Svetlana. Good morning.
Good morning. So, Aaron, the COVID-19 lockdown came in abruptly, as we know, in the middle of scenario elaboration process. How this has been adapted to the new situation?
Yeah, the global pandemic, as we all know at this point, has had a pretty significant impact on how we work. And the original scenario development process was planned to be conducted in February, March, live in person with experts in a room, and pretty much simultaneously with the plan for that process. The global pandemic encouraged everybody in Europe to lock down, and so we did. And then in the interim months, we developed a new online process using a variety of platforms, and we also changed the questions on how we would review the scenarios to date, asking our experts to reflect on what impact the COVID-19 crisis has had on the factors that were involved in the initial scenario cores that were the foundation of each scenario, and how they might continue to evolve going forward.
Did you have a moment when you felt that the scenarios are not relevant anymore? We have to rewrite everything.
I did not have that moment, particularly because our scenarios are based in 2050. These were really world-building exercises. So these are scenarios that are 30 years in the future. They're global in scale because because the topic at hand is both global governance and systems of global governance, and then also the EU and EU nation states' role within these future global governing worlds. And because of that perspective, I think that the amount of impact that COVID has had on the final scenarios, I wouldn't say it's limited, but it's not huge. It doesn't cause us to rethink everything.
What I think COVID-19 actually does really well is it demonstrates, well, what global governance systems are in place. How well are they functioning? What impact does a pandemic of this nature have on geopolitical relationships and on the way that different actors will respond within a crisis? And what I think is that our process and now the scenarios reflect that some of these ideas or kind of opinions prior to the pandemic have shifted, have changed.
Okay, thank you, Aaron. So even if scenarios were not changed significantly, was there something new and unexpected for you in the way scenarios were changed during these workshops?
Yes. One of the things that we came together as the Foresight kind of work package leaders and decided was that there was no longer space for what we were calling the continuation scenarios. Originally, we had developed 6 scenario cores that look at 6 different scenario sets. These are worlds in which global governance has transformed, continued along its current path, or further fragmented. And then within each of those kind of silos, we have both a world where the EU has a stronger influential role and a world where the EU has a weaker role.
Given the pandemic and its nature, the consensus was that this pandemic really does represent a radical shift, if not a break from the normal, the continued, right?
And adapting to this idea of that whatever comes after or during the post-COVID times will not reflect that kind of normality we knew before, we dropped the continuation out. Now, some of the things I think that that became much more unexpected during our conversations with experts in the second phase of the scenario process was to the degree to which health and social cohesion both became relevant topics once again. Again, the scenarios that we had developed had included these, but during our expert conversations, these really came to the forefront as leading issues around which global governing systems can transform. And failing to resolve such issues could very well lead to greater fragmentation. So the degree and importance of these particular issue sets was really unexpected. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Aaron. Looking forward to read them.
Thank you very much, Svetlana.
Bye.